Hello artists, let's finish our embroidery projects. So to keep them from unraveling, we need to glue them down on the back of some felt, or on the front of some felt, so the felt is on the back. I have made a smaller design here, so I cut it out very carefully with my scissors, and then I glued it down onto this piece of felt and added this hanging string so I can hang it up. If you have a bigger piece, if you made a bigger embroidery, you don't have to cut it at all, but we do need to get rid of some of these little fraying edges. So to do that, you're going to take your scissors, I have a big pair here, and I'm just going to trim off any pieces that I don't need. And I'm trying to cut in a straight line, so I'm going to follow that row of weaving all the way down. Some of you will be tempted to pull these off, and sometimes it'll work like that where it won't completely unravel. Sometimes it's best to just cut a little bit that's fraying off and keep the rest so it doesn't completely unravel, okay? So just use your best judgment and don't cut too deep into your artwork or it will completely come apart and you just did all that hard work. So then you're gonna pick a background color. I think I like the purple. I think it helps it stand out a little better. So I'm gonna choose this purple color and I'm gonna put it right in the middle. And I'm gonna take this tape off actually before I do that. So I'm going to just carefully pull my name tape off. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to stick this to the back so I know it's mine. There we go. All right, and now we're going to use this fabric tacky glue, and we're going to make sure that you can hear when you squeeze the bottle a little air coming out of the nozzle. That means it's open and ready to use. Okay, so I'm going to flip over my embroidery and you'll notice that I taped some little spots down just to make sure that nothing is unraveling. Oh, I have some extra little strings here I'm going to cut. So cut away anything that you don't want anymore on your weaving before you glue it down, okay? So now I'm going to shake the bottle to make sure that the glue is coming down to the bottom. All right. Let me take a minute. And then if you need to use two hands, you can. I'm just going to do a little squeeze and I'm going to draw with my glue all the way around the edge. I might do one side and turn it and then do the other side. And it might take a little bit to get all the glue out. It's okay if your line isn't totally, even with the glue. I got to pay attention to what I'm doing here. It's okay if you just get like blobs and strings instead of like a nice consistent line of glue. That's okay, as long as you get glue across the whole edge. And I'm trying to stay close to the edge, but not letting that glue get onto the table. You might want to use a messy mat for this. All right, glue all the way around. Okay, see, I ended up just kind of doing dots along the edge there. That's okay. Scooch that over. Put down my fabric with the name on the back. And I'm going to carefully pick this up and carefully place it down in the middle. Once I've got it in the middle, I can take my finger and just push down that glue into the fabric. And it might look a little weird at first, but don't worry, this glue is going to dry clear, so you won't notice it once it's dry. You might need to wash your hands after this part. Okay, and the reason I'm really pushing it into the fabric is so that it doesn't peel off and come apart later. Okay, great. Now that I've got that stuck down, I'm going to make my holes in the top to put the string through. Now, you've got a couple ways to do the string. A way I like to do it is to use the hole punch. Now, the hole punch won't make a perfect hole like it will with paper because it's so thick. But if you put it in like you would normally punch a hole and make sure you give it plenty of room on each side, right? I'm not coming right on the very, very edge. I've moved it in a little bit and you can push and squeeze really hard, and then you'll notice it makes like a very small hole that you can put your string through. So you could do it that way, or you could fold it in half at the corner and then take your scissors and very carefully like snip a little hole. Sometimes I have to put it in the back of my scissors. Yeah, because it doesn't want to go. So I'm using the back, but I'm not cutting all the way down. I'm just cutting a little bit. And now you have a hole there too. So you could do it with your scissors or with your hole punch. Either way is okay. Then I'm going to get a piece of string. There we go. And I'm going to decide how long I want it. If I make it really, really long, it's going to hang kind of weird. So I don't want it super long. I just want enough to tie on both sides and for it to have a nice like small rainbow arch. All right, that looks okay. I'll cut that right there. Scissors are not very sharp. And then this is kind of the tricky part. So I want to make sure I have a hole here. So I'm going to try to push my little finger through. And then I'm going to push my yarn through. And I'm going to cross over. You've practiced making knots before, so you kind of know how to do it. And pull. If I pull really tight, it might get a little scrunchy like that at the top. You might not mind that. I'm going to leave mine a little looser. There we go. And then tie one more time, and then I have a nice double knot. And I'm going to do it on the other side. Through the hole, and up, and around. One more. All right. And there we have our finished embroideries. We've got the string, name on the back. Good to go.